Hello friends, welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the truth of God's words, understanding life challenges, and finding peace through faith. God speaks softly in our joys, nudges our conscience, and calls out to us in our struggles. It is His way of awakening our weary hearts. C.S. Lewis once expressed this idea, emphasizing how hardships can be a divine call to awareness. Are you feeling overwhelmed by the burdens of daily life? Wondering how much more you can bear? In Isaiah 43 verse 19, God proclaims, "Behold, I am doing something new. Even now it emerges. Do you not recognize it? I will carve a path through the wilderness and create rivers in the dry land." This promise reassures us that even in the darkest times, God is at work, paving a way where none seems possible. If exhaustion grips you and your journey feels like an endless desert, take courage. God is already orchestrating a breakthrough. Walk with us on this path of faith, because persistence and trust will lead you through, and your moment of renewal may be closer than you realize. If this message resonates, share your thoughts in the comments. But first, take a moment to reflect. What burdens weigh on your heart? Is it the strain of family obligations, conflicts in friendships, pressures at work, or concerns about health? Maybe it's the state of the world that unsettles you. Everywhere we turn, stress seems to shadow us, affecting every part of life. We live in an era of immense pressure, with many seeking relief in fleeting comforts. Yet these often leave us emptier than before. What coping mechanisms have you turned to? Have they truly brought you lasting peace? C.S. Lewis once stated, "God cannot grant us peace and joy apart from Himself, because it does not exist outside of Him." This insight points us to a solution that surpasses temporary distractions and leads to real peace. Jesus, fully aware of our struggles, extends this invitation. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Matthew 11 verses 28 to 30. Have you ever considered what it would mean to embrace this promise, to lay your burdens at His feet and trust in His rest? C.S. Lewis reminds us, "Look for yourself, and in the end, you will find only isolation, despair, anger, and emptiness. But seek Christ, and you will find Him, along with everything else you need." This is an invitation to deeper reflection, not to rely on temporary comforts, but to discover the enduring peace that Christ alone provides. In today's fast-moving world, the phrase "take my yoke" might seem unfamiliar, yet it holds profound meaning. A yoke, a wooden beam used to harness oxen together, enables them to share the workload, easing the strain. Jesus uses this imagery to show that we are not meant to carry our burdens alone. He tells us, "Let me walk beside you. Don't shoulder the weight alone. If you do, it will break you. But if you step into the yoke with me, I will bear the load with you." Lewis often reflected on the importance of divine companionship in hardship. He wrote, "God speaks in our joys, instructs through our conscience, but calls out to us in suffering. It is His way of awakening us." Are you feeling crushed by the weight of your struggles? Do you long for someone to help carry the load? Imagine the comfort of knowing you don't have to face these trials on your own. The yoke symbolizes not just shared effort, but God's unwavering love and support. If you allow Him to bear your burdens, what could you accomplish with renewed strength and peace? Jesus doesn't add unnecessary weight. He walks with us, lifting what we cannot carry. C.S. Lewis captured this truth when he wrote, "There are far better things ahead than anything we leave behind." By walking alongside Jesus, we let go of the need to control everything. Lewis himself wrestled with doubt and suffering, yet ultimately found a deep faith. Often, the burdens we bear come from our desire to manage everything alone. But surrendering control and trusting Jesus leads to true freedom. Why do we resist this surrender? Are there areas where you are striving alone, burdened by fears and expectations? Jesus offers rest, not by eliminating challenges, but by being present with us through them. Just as Lewis found peace in this truth, so can we. Jesus assures us, when you reach the end of your strength, You have not reached the end of mine. My strength is limitless. Give me your weariness, and I will replace it with a power beyond your own. How often do we carry burdens God never intended for us? Worrying over things He never asked us to control? Perhaps we are bearing the wrong yoke entirely. When life feels overwhelming, when solutions seem out of reach, Jesus says, "Come to me, and you will find rest." The invitation is clear. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. In our quiet moments, we may wonder, can this truly be real? Jesus never dismisses our struggles or diminishes our pain. Instead, He meets us where we are, offering rest and peace beyond comprehension. What are you carrying today? How often do you reach the edge of exhaustion, longing for relief? Jesus promises that where our strength ends, His begins. C.S. Lewis observed, God allows us to experience low points in life, so we can learn lessons we would not grasp otherwise. This is the beauty of walking alongside Him. Are you weary from trying to handle everything within your own limitations? Imagine what it would be like to exchange your burdens for His lighter load. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. When you feel like you're at your breaking point, that is when His power takes over. God will never place more upon you than He Himself can carry. Can you trust Him enough to release your struggles and lean on His strength? Lewis reminds us that trusting God transforms burdens into shared loads, making our journey lighter and more meaningful. When life's weight feels unbearable, remember, God is infinitely greater than any challenge you face. Take a moment to reflect. How often do you feel overwhelmed by life's difficulties? Can you recognize God's presence in those moments? Imagine the peace that comes from knowing He is with you, guiding you through every trial. Faith is rooted in the promise of God's constant presence. When we embrace this truth, stress fades, replaced by deep peace and confidence. No matter what you are facing, every heartache, every fear, God walks with you. This realization shifts how we perceive our struggles. So much of what we worry about will eventually pass, but walking with Jesus, yoked to His strength, is the key to navigating life's storms. Victory is not measured by grand achievements, but by faithfulness in daily life, through small acts of trust, perseverance, and love. When Jesus says, "Take my yoke upon you," He means it for every day, every season, because that is when we need Him the most. And when we do, we find that with Him, we are not just surviving, we are free. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell